Oh, and before I go, I'm actually going to pop this in at the beginning of the video. If you have any questions over the next couple days, I will have some free time. Well, actually probably all next week. But I want to start a series called Ask a Travel Blogger. So when people do ask questions in the comments, I usually make an entire video dedicated to it. So yeah, if you have any other questions outside of the ones that I may have answered in this video or any other video, just ask and I'll record it. Are you down, did it, down, did it, down, did it, down, down, down? Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I was literally just laying in bed thinking about this, and I thought maybe people would want to know, so I decided to record a super quick video about it. So today is my last day in Nice. I'm actually heading back to Paris on the train tomorrow. Up until like a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I have been so excited. I just love Paris so much. Do not ask me why it's my favorite city. I know like 50% of the time people say that they hate it or wasn't that great. I'm the other 50% where I'm obsessed with it. I plan to live there one day. Like, it is just everything to me. So right now I'm in Nice, which is in the south of France, aka the Côte d'Azur, and I've been noticing some differences between Paris and Nice. So one, I would say that this is a place where you will come to get away from city life, even though in the middle of the south of France and Paris is the entire countryside, where if you really want to do slow living, that is the place to do it. And you have the wine and champagne regions and things like that. Or you could just take a day trip from Paris to one of those places and experience like a vineyard tour or wineries and then go back to Paris. But I would definitely say that this is a slower paced city, which is perfectly fine. It's probably not that slow to some people, but it's definitely slower than Paris. Even when I'm out walking, I see the difference. There was one day in Paris where I walked like 14.8 miles. I know that the train is perfectly fine and people can hop on it, but I'm a walker, and I realized that there's just so much more to do in Paris. So I'll like go out for my standard walk and maybe go grab lunch, but then I gotta meet somebody on the other side of the city, and then I want to go have dinner here, and then let me go back to my room because I need to go change or shower real quick, and then go back out and meet someone else. Like, there's just always somewhere to be and something to do in Paris, even when you don't have anything to do. So that is one of the major differences. Some common questions that I get asked every time pretty much is, one, are there black people? Yes, there are black people here, and there are also tons of black people in Paris. I would say before my last visit, my couple visits before then, I didn't see as many, but this last trip, yes. yes. But I think it's like any other city where they're mostly in certain neighborhoods or areas. So you're not going to run into droves of black people in every area of the city, but I was closer to areas where I would say there is a large African population at least. And here, I would say it's the same. I've walked through neighborhoods where I'm like, well shit, this is where everybody's hanging. Like, I could walk along the sea and the coast and still see black people, but I distinctly remember one day last week I was walking in this one area and you're just like, oh, here you all are. So yes, there are black people here. And the second thing that I get asked a lot is about if people speak English, which that is the point of this video. That is the main difference. I've noticed that the further from Paris you get, the less English is spoken, which is fine because I have never gone to another country and just assumed or demanded someone speak English. I literally don't care. But I realized that I've changed a little bit with this, because at least in Paris, you can either start a conversation with bonjour and then go ahead and speak in English and you're good to go. So for people who think that Parisians are rude or they don't want to speak English, greet them in their language first and then see where you go from there. Because if you're just coming out the gate talking about, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, that's kind of rude in my opinion. I do know in Asian countries, if I knew how to say hello in their language, I was never sure how to pronounce it. So I would just be like, hi, and then, you know, keep speaking. But it is kind of rude. So start with bonjour and continue on with your conversation and see if, you know, they're more engaging. 1 second. I have the balcony door open, so I hope that you can't hear the train going by out there. So yeah, but here, it's a whole different ball game. literally everyone that I've asked if they speak English, like the lady my first day at the grocery store here, a simple parlez-vous anglais, and she's just like, no. But, and I think that kind of happened to me again yesterday at the grocery store, but it's not like, no, I don't speak English, and then, you know, that's it. They still try to communicate with you. I find that, you know, sign language is universal, so they're like trying to point and grunt and make shapes so that you can speak. You can understand what they're trying to say at least, and you always do. But I just thought that was very interesting. We're not in the middle of France, like we're in the south, so I would think Paris or northern France and the south get the most tourists and that they would speak English a little more, but yeah, no. And I found that the few phrases I do know, phrases or words, I don't even bother anymore. Like, I try to speak as little as possible since I've been here because I'm kind of more self-conscious about pronunciation. That's another thing I hear. Sometimes people say, you know, they try to speak French in Paris and people rip them apart because of their pronunciation and stuff like that. I haven't come across anything like that. There's a huge stereotype that Parisians are rude, and the same way that is an opinion, that is someone's opinion, and they could have been treated poorly by one person and judged an entire population. I can say it is my opinion that they are not rude, or maybe it's because, one, I've grown up in DC, which I think they beat out New York at least 1 year for like most aggressive drivers. So like DC or Washingtonians, people can be rude as fuck. And then I've lived in New York. Hands down, rudest people, and it's not even like in a way that makes me uncomfortable. Like, you just walk down the street and you don't look anyone in the eye, or you don't speak when you get on the train. Like, there's just so many people. You can't do that to everybody. So maybe it's because I'm used to these things, or I'm just like, there could be like little microaggressions or rudeness, and I'm just like, it's normal behavior. Like, I would never think twice or look at it, or I'm like, that person was so mean to me, how rude. And I'm not saying that nobody in Paris or France has never been rude to me. It's never stood out enough for me to comment on it, and it would just be one person. That one person could be having a bad day, and I'm sure people have come into contact with me and they thought that I was rude. So yeah, the point of this video was that do not come here without some basic phrases. I wouldn't say like try to brush up on the language before your trip, but please, thank you, hello, where's the bathroom, or how much is, things like that. They may go a long way for you, because this is not one of those places where you're gonna just come and think that, you know, the rest of the world does and should know English, because shit, even in America, not everybody speaks English. Not everybody knows how to speak English. So be prepared for that. Thanks for watching.
I get it how I live it. I live it how I get it. Come the motherfucking digits. I pull it with a lemon. Not cause she ain't living. It's just your eyes get acidic. And this ain't a scrimmage. Motherfucker, we ain't finished. I told you we won't.